Now let's really get into the meat of it. So what I have here is a document. Actually, this is a what do you call it? Slide deck called Liquidator VSL Example. And there is, quite naturally, a link to download this in both PowerPoint format and Apple Keynote format. So whichever one of those you use, you could probably download. If you don't have either one of those, you could probably download the PowerPoint version and upload it to Google Docs and then use Google Docs to edit it for free. Pretty fancy. You can get a Google Docs account when you get a Gmail account, but you probably already know that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play this thing, and we'll go through it. And I've included, here's how it works. I've included my video sales letter slides with little slides like this one interspersed throughout each section according to where we were in that outline, right? So to kind of show you by example. Now, I've made this editable. Now, I'm going to read this to you as well as having it printed on the document so there's no misunderstanding. In this document, I'm including slides from a successful video sales letter along with the insertion of section markers for each section of the video sales letter. These are for illustrative purposes only. Please don't use this verbatim or take the inclusion of my personal slides to mean that you have any type of reprint rights to use my story or my products or anything remotely like that. The reason I'm including my own slides here is so that you can use them as examples and illustrations to see where each piece of a video sales letter fits into the overall structure that I just showed you. Now I've made this editable so you can just in each little section erase my parts and type in your parts so you don't have to create from scratch, because I know that looking at a blank document can be very intimidating. At least it always is for me. It leads to a bit of writer's block. So I'm trying to accelerate this for you, right? So let's go ahead and get started. As you know, part one is the setup. We begin by positioning this video as a tutorial. We're going to ask them to grab a piece of paper and a pen, state what they're going to learn, give the countdown. And as you can see, I do not include this slide in your presentation. These are just instructions for you. So you don't want to edit this, right? This is just the instruction part. So here we go. Imagine now the guy has walked in. He is registered for our webinar, and he sees at the top of the page, thank you, you're all set, you're registered, check your email in about 10 minutes, you'll get your webinar information. Meanwhile, please watch this tutorial on how to XYZ, right? So this is the tutorial. This automatically plays, and this is what he sees. I'll just kind of go through it now as if the VSL was actually occurring. Hey, grab a pen and paper real quick. I want to show you a three-step formula that's working well to blank so you can blank, right? I don't know why I have a blank there between three-step or in front of three-step formula. You can remove that blank. And, oh, you know what? I meant to have a blank for three because I don't know how many steps you're going to show. But what we're going to do is we're going to say it's working really well to blank so you can blank. So if this was about the meeting girls thing, I'd say, I want to show you a three-step formula that's working really well to meet women without intimidation so you can finally have the relationship that you've always wanted and that you know you deserve, right? Really simple. So that's how we do that. We proceed. Well, I'll wait a sec so you can grab a pen, and I'll go through the countdown while I'm talking. Now, the reason I'm doing this is so I can position this as a tutorial, which it really is. So what we want to do to further go with that is we want to start directing and controlling focus. So we begin painting a mental picture with the opening statement. Imagine this scenario, right? I talked to you about this a minute ago. And then we control focus by asking those what-if questions, or a series of them. The questions always should be result-oriented. And remember, don't use this slide. This is just here for the instruction. So I'll begin again now with this chunk of my VSL. We'll start with the imagine this scenario statement. Imagine this scenario. What if you were suddenly recognized as a global expert and authority in your field? So if you were doing the thing about girls, what would we have this question say? What if every time you approached a woman that you found attractive, you felt confident and excited instead of nervous and shy, right? So we're just changing out the results-based questions there. Again, you got to be able to back this stuff up, and please don't make any unsubstantiated claims. The next question, what if you were suddenly in great demand, regardless of your price? What if you became a celebrity in your niche? Now, those are just three questions, right? Now, what I'm doing right there is I'm asking those questions to direct that focus like we said. But as we ask each question, what's happening? Naturally, the viewer is experiencing justifiable skepticism. So we need to address that with the feel, felt, found story, right? And we use that feel, felt, found story to sort of address that skepticism and turn that computer program off in their brain so it doesn't use up all their focus or metaphorically that RAM memory, right? And then we're going to also now, finally from this phase, go into the teaching of the content. So let me show you how we address skepticism. Sound like a stretch? I used to think so too, until it happened to me. In the past few years, I've sold over $50 million between my own products and services and the promotions I've created for clients. Now, if we were doing the Meet the Love of Your Life type of sales video, we'd say something like, sound like a stretch? I used to think so, until it happened to me. In the past few years, I've gone from an overweight, unwashed, terribly shy introvert who suffered from crippling social anxiety and had a panic attack at the mere sight or thought of a beautiful woman to feeling confident, outgoing, physically fit, and ultimately meeting the love of my life, who I'm happy to call now my wife and mother of my child. See, so regardless of what it is, we just want to do that quick before and after feel, felt, found. And again, please don't make stuff up here. You know, this isn't free license to just make up in imaginary stories, right? So I will proceed. I've also used the exact same thing I'm about to show you to become the world's most sought after and highest paid direct response internet marketing copywriter and consultant to the information and education marketing industry. The reason I put that in here, by the way, is because this VSL is traditionally used in front of a consulting webinar, and the guys are registering for a webinar to learn how to get consulting clients, so obviously this bit of information is very helpful, and it helps that it's true. So now that we've set that up with that really, really quick story, remember I told you it was just like 2 slides in a minute or two. Now it's time for the reveal. This is where, like I told you earlier, we reveal the discovery that helped you get the results you mentioned in the found section above. Again, let's be truthful, not engage in any shenanigans, and of course this slide right here isn't actually part of the VSL. It's just here for your instructions. So onward we go with part 4. This is also very brief. The thing that got me there is video NLP. And then I go on. Now this is looking weird right now, so if I were doing this in VSL format, I wouldn't pause here. I would go on to start saying, I've used video NLP and made all kinds of videos, ranging from live action videos that mimic reality TV shows to funny videos where I play pranks on my friends and bring the viewers along for the ride. Very serious pre-launch content videos that establish celebrity and authority and maintain goodwill and ultimately lead to sales, and even simple videos like direct-to-camera, and even super simple videos like little voiceover PowerPoint presentations like the one you're watching now. Right? So that's where I'm explaining more of what I've discovered and all the various facets of where it works, and then we move on to the tutorial. And this is where you begin teaching as a means to demonstrate you can help them by actually helping them, right? So that's pretty straightforward. I like to teach 2 or 3 major things. I like to teach the what to, a little bit of how to, but I don't want to bog them down. Remember, the biggest crime we could commit here, metaphorically speaking, in terms of any sales pitch, is getting too technical and giving them too much information. Not because we want to withhold anything of value and make them pay for it, more than we want to avoid bogging them down with the details that will cause them to lose curiosity and find the whole thing to be a bit boring. Right? So, here's how we do it. I'm going to go now as if I'm actually teaching this part. And this is a little longer. This is where it's okay to give a lot of meat here. By the way, the original VSL for this I think is around 14 minutes. Everybody knows that videos work if you do them right. And in order to do them right, you need to follow a proven formula. In fact, if you're using videos now and you're not getting the results you want, it probably has nothing to do with the way the video looks, and it has nothing to do with how fancy it is, or how cool the special effects are, or what kind of equipment you use. Interestingly enough, right there what I'm doing is overcoming some skepticism, because one of the big things is I can't do video. I don't want to buy all that fancy equipment, and I don't know how to do all those high-tech effects, and I don't know how to operate all the software. Well, clearly it's not really that necessary to do any of that. It's just kind of fun, right? So that's how I'm sort of deflecting those concerns as well. I will resume now, because at the end of the day, it's not how your video looks or even what you say. It's all in how you say it. And there's a formula for saying it right. Here it is. Step number 1 is called a pattern interrupt. Your prospects are bombarded with distractions more than ever before. Listen, you and I are on the same email list. We get the same amount of joint venture solicitations and spammy, hypey ads and more every single day, to the point we're almost immune to it. Well, your prospects are no different. In fact, it might be worse for them than it is for us. In fact, your video basically has 9 seconds to live. That's right. In the first 9 seconds, you have to grab their attention, and you have to sell them on watching the next segment of the video. And a great way to interrupt their pattern and get their attention is to control one thing, is to control their focus. And a great way to change someone's focus is to ask them a question. Why? Because it's pretty much impossible for the brain to ignore a question, and it sets you up for part 2 of this formula. That's the payoff. See, people also need and want a benefit from watching your videos. The trick is to write, star in, or narrate videos about one thing and one thing only. It's not you, it's not your product, it's not your service, it's not their problems, it is them. Simple tips on how to do this are, first of all, you want to talk more about them than you talk about yourself. You want to talk more about their desired outcome than you talk about your stuff. Your video really should be ultimately about them and their desired outcome, because really that's always in the forefront of their brain, isn't it? Right now you're probably watching this because you want more leads or customers or sales, and that's usually the forefront of your brain. Your prospects are no different. They're usually thinking about the main thing that they want, and the more we can speak to that desire and show them, prove them we can help them by actually helping them, the more sales and trust that we'll get in the long run. So what you want to do is you want to show them what their desired outcome looks like and then educate them on how to get there. That's the payoff for the viewer. Once we've done that, then it's time for step 3, which is simply the call to action. See, every video should have a purpose. It should be to make a sale, or to pre-sell or pre-frame an affiliate offer, or to generate anticipation for a launch, or to get an opt-in. Whatever it is, we need to ask for it in this phase of the video. The way to do it is you want to give them a beneficial reason why they should take that call to action right now. Not just a reason why to do it, but a reason why to do it right now. As simple as it is, the same 3-step formula has helped me sell over $50 million worth of products and services online for myself and my clients. And now that you know what to do, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. And boom. That was the payoff section. Now that was kind of an okay version of that because I haven't rehearsed this VSL in a long time, but you get the gist, right? If I was doing it for real, I would have taught a little bit more and elaborated a little bit more on each slide for them to sort of drive home each point. But you see what I mean? I'm teaching those 3 steps, and I'm teaching them really what those 3 steps are and why they're important. And now if they want to know how to do it, they can get my offer. So a great formula for this is as follows. Like I told you earlier, here's what I got, here's what it'll do for you, here's what I want you to do next. And a good transition into the offer is what I just showed you, which is what I just gave you is an overview of the exact same system I used to blank. In my case, I said sell $50 million worth of stuff. And now that you know what to do, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Now, our next phase is to introduce the product, describe the components and benefits, give the price, give a call to action, and give a guarantee. And we can also give a deadline, which is pretty easy to do because this is a one-time offer after they see the webinar registration. So they're not going to find this page again unless you email them multiple times. In our process, we just email them once immediately. If you want to get fancy, you can tell a story of how you used your product or whatever it is that you're going to give them to get a specific benefit at this one particular stage. And I'll show you how I do that here on slide 86. What this allows you to do is to have the buy button in front of the viewer longer. Okay, so let's go forward and I'll show you how I do the offer and the close. So let's see, let me back up and I'll find out what I actually said. All right, so we'll begin and I'll just breeze through these other slides till I get to the real pitch again. And now that you know what to do, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. I've created a brand new training exclusively on how to make high impact, high converting videos that sell, generate response, and generate followers. It's called Video Black Box. You can use it to make sales videos so you can get more sales and get more money. You can use it to create celebrity creation videos so you can have more authority and reach a wider audience and get more prospects and ultimately more sales. You can use it to create launch anticipation videos so on the day that your cart opens you get more sales and you get more leads too, and overall your launch is a greater success. You can use it to create goodwill videos so you can build more desire and trust in your marketplace, so ultimately they will continue to buy from you more and more because everyone knows that to a degree our income is directly proportional to the amount of goodwill that we have with our customers and prospects. You can use this to create opt-in you can use this to create opt-in videos so that you can convert better on your opt-in pages and get more leads for your traffic. You can use this ultimately to get higher conversion and better response, better positioning, and ultimately so you can have more money. Now, did you notice that? Now, I'm outside of the pitch mode. Did you notice that one of the things I said in every one of those little bullets was so you can? That's a really big deal that people overlook. You always want to make everything about that viewer. So you can are the 3 magic words that really, really help us. You can have it today for just 2 payments of $97. Now, what I'm going to do next here, because I think we're on slide 86, we are. What I'm going to do next here is I'm going to do that fancy story thing, because right when I've said 2 payments of $97 is when I want the buy button to appear. But instead of just giving them like 10 seconds to see that buy button and then make a decision, I want to tell a story so that buy button can be in front of them for a greater period of time. So I'm going to tell a story about how video helped me in my business. Meanwhile, all this time, the buy button is below the video, being prominently displayed, right? So here we go. You know, I want you to think about this. I started selling products online in 1999. It seems like forever ago, and I made so many mistakes and so many blunders. But by 2006, I'd created multiple businesses, from marketing education all the way to dog training. Up to that point, I'd struggled to break the $1 million barrier, but I was certainly very happy to have experienced the success that I had. But I still wanted more. But in late 2006, I began using video to sell my products. And the videos followed the same formula I'm giving you today. The first big promotion was for a live event where I was teaching a very advanced, very specialized marketing technique. Tickets for that event were $10,000 per person, which was more than anything I'd ever seen offered at the time and way more than anything I had ever sold personally. In fact, I'd never even done a seminar before. And even though I'd never sold anything like it before, and even though I'd never used so much video before, I decided to take a gamble. I decided to use nothing but video to sell seats to that seminar. The result? That seminar sold $360,000 worth of seats in just 9 minutes. Then I offered it again 6 months later, and again I used the same formulaic video marketing approach. This time I sold $660,000 worth of tickets in 45 minutes. That's a total of $1 million in sales in just 54 minutes combined. And I've now gone on to use this exact video formula to sell over $50 million of products ever since then. And now I'm going to give it to you. But it gets better. Listen, go ahead and take this entire training and put it to work for you and see if it works in your business, because after all, I'm not psychic. I know that my results are unique, and I know that everyone watching this or everyone who gets it certainly isn't going to make $50 million, and heck, some people just won't have any luck at all. But we never know until we try. So what I want you to do is I want you to try it on me. I want to take all the risk. Here it is. Take the entire course, put everything to work, and use videos in your marketing. If at any time you find that it wasn't worth the money or you didn't get the results you expected, let me know. I'll immediately give you a refund, but you can still keep everything for free. Now, listen, the price is normally $397, but you can have it today for just 2 payments of only $97. So, claim your copy now and save over $200. With the discount and the love it or keep it free guarantee, you simply cannot lose. So click the button below and get started today. Now, that was the end of that VSL. So you can see I used that little story to kind of tell my experience with videos, which is, in fact, 100% true and amazing. Boy, am I glad I discovered videos. You want to know what's funny? As an aside, the way I discovered videos was because I kept getting a lot of technical service questions before I had Gerald helping me. This is like back in 2001. And I would type the same email back to the customer every time. Like it was about doing FTP and the web domain registration and stuff. And finally, I just made a little screen cam on how to do that. And man, my customers loved it. And I was like, gosh, you know, they're really, really liking this. Maybe I should start using videos to try to sell things. And that's how it all started for me. So I can honestly say that video success was born out of laziness, which is pretty funny. But as you can see from looking through this example and going through this little 6-step kind of formulaic outline for creating a VSL for your liquidator offer, it's not that hard. If you follow this little format here, it's going to be pretty simple, and there's no reason you can't just crank out your video sales letter this week, maybe even today, right? Because the faster we get it done, the faster we can start getting registrants, the faster we can start selling stuff, the faster you can start making money, and the faster you're going to look up and say, damn it, that Kern really helped me. I'm really glad I invested in this course. This is fantastic. Who knows? You might even buy another one, right? That'd be great for all of us. Okay, so that's how you do this. Let's not overcomplicate it. There's no reason to deviate much from this. There's no reason to have a bunch of what ifs. Let's just bang out a VSL and see what happens, right? Because you're probably, no matter how bad you may think your video sales letter might be, I can almost guarantee you something with absolute certainty. Your video sales letter, even if it's terrible, will make significantly more sales than if you didn't offer anything after your webinar registration, right? So let's go ahead, knock this out. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to take that VSL and put it on a little sales page to be used as your thank you page for your webinar process, okay? So until the next video, I'll see you. Now get to work. Bang that sucker out. Let's not be lax. I know you didn't buy this because you like my voice and you like staring at my PowerPoint slides. As delightful as both may be, you bought it so you could sell some stuff, get some more money, and look, you can. There's absolutely no limits to what you can accomplish, especially because of the amount of people we can reach on the internet. We've never been in a greater time of opportunity in the history of man. So let's harness that. Let's make hay while the sun is shining. Crank out that VSL. Let's help some people, and let's make some money. I'll see you in the next video.